because carbs aren't dangerous. Carbs are only dangerous when they're in your blood and they have nowhere else to go. Good morning. We are in the beautiful United Kingdom, and it was about 16 hours of traveling from South Africa. So it really took it out of my brother and I, but super excited to be here and drinking this amazing coffee. It's probably about, it's warm, but chilly at the same time, just because it is summer here. So I would say that it's about 15, maybe 20 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but you can do the math. And I'm busy staying now currently with my brother, my stepdad, my mom, and my two sisters. And it's just been incredible. Yesterday was an absolute adventure. We spent about 5 hours just exploring this little town called Matlock, which is covered in these gardens and these trails and these mountains, and just walking around with girls. And they collected so many of these like little stones and little rocks for my brother and I to take home. And after that, we landed back. My brother and I were a little bit like low social battery from just hanging out with the girls the whole time. So we were like, cool, what are we going to do? We're going to go play some pool, or we're going to go for like a ride. We're going to go for a walk. What are we going to do? And we decided on going for a bicycle ride about 2 miles straight downhill. So we were flying past these cars, like max gear on the bike, like standing on the bike, kind of keeping us the stable, and flying down this hill towards the next town. And there was cars like zipping past us, and it was like really, really exciting. I wish we got footage, but we did get footage of us on the way back. And we went to this small little town. I mean, we really explored the whole town in like probably like 15 or 20 minutes. It was very small. And we then decided on this one place, and we played some pool. Oh, that feels good. And we played some pool, kind of just hung out a bit, and just got like really present in the moment, and just like wondered like, whoa, we are here right now. Isn't that crazy? But there is a reason for this video. And the reason for this video is to share one lesson that came to me when I was on the plane. And that lesson that I learned was that planes are the safest form of travel. And that might sound quite surprising. Maybe you're like, Ben, that doesn't sound right. I thought cars were safer. I thought bikes were even safer. I thought traveling in a boat was maybe safer, or a helicopter. But planes are the safest form of travel. And if we think about diabetes, if we think about what diabetes is, then I want you to think of everything that you've been trying as traveling in a car. It seems the safest. Taking medication, counting calories, doing cardio. It seems to be the safest form of travel. A car. But how many car accidents are there? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of car accidents. Whereas with a plane, you're traveling faster. And in the beginning, it feels scary. It feels like this thing, how's it going to stay in the sky? How does it travel this fast? How does it not fall out of the sky? Yet it's safer. And what that is metabolic freedom. That is when you are sipping on a black coffee and you're not kicking up your blood sugar, your insulin. That is when you're fasting, when you're doing keto, and when you're building muscle. Because carbs aren't dangerous. Carbs are only dangerous when they're in your blood and they have nowhere else to go. But once you build a bit of muscle, then no matter how many carbs you eat, they have a place to go that is outside of your bloodstream. And the problem with cardio is that it burns sugar while you're training, whereas muscle burns sugar while you're training, and it burns sugar whenever you're just living, as long as you maintain it. And that is why I call it metabolic freedom, because it is this asset that compounds that you can take with you wherever you go. Whereas cardio, you've got to constantly, it's a high maintenance girlfriend. It's like a high maintenance girlfriend versus your dream woman who's like this, I don't know, like she's very loyal and she understands. And the other thing is counting calories. It doesn't make sense for diabetes because if you were to stick by counting calories, then we know that carbs has less calories than fat. But carbs kick your insulin and your blood sugar up more than fat. So if you're going by standard advice of counting calories for fat loss, it doesn't work for people who have a diabetic metabolism, for people who have insulin resistance. So another thing is, instead of counting calories, just focus on breaking your fast with high fat, high protein. My personal go-to is an omelet with some low carb veggies, maybe some cheese and avocado. It doesn't get better than that in terms of breaking your fast. So it really can be that simple. And I wanted to just share this lesson with you on metabolic freedom versus metabolic slavery, driving a car versus flying a plane, and everyone on the planet. How many people are driving a car every single day? Whereas a plane, maybe you only fly it once every 6 months, or maybe you only travel once a year. And that's the problem, is that flying a plane, it's like this false perception in our mind of it being dangerous, it being scary, it being expensive, when in reality, it's the safest and the best way to travel. One thing I've been thinking about is, why is it so difficult to change? Why is it so difficult to change who you are and to become who you want to be? Why is it so difficult to lose weight if you're overweight? Why is it so difficult to put on muscle and put on weight if you're skinny? And if you are somewhere right now and you have a goal or a place that you want to be, that requires a transformation. It requires behavior change. And it is very, very difficult to change your behavior when you don't have the result yet, you know? Like, if I go to the gym, I already have a strong, lean body. So it's easier for me to train because I have the result. Similarly, if you had, let's say, a beautiful wife and a relationship that you adored and truly valued, then it's easy to feel confident and to feel uplifted and to feel like, man. And it's easy to feel like it's yours when you have it. And I want you to think of prayer, right? And faith. I want you to think of how Jesus and God, they talk about, you need to pretend like it's yours before you have it. Ask and it shall be yours. Seek, knock on the door, and I will answer. You will find me. And it's almost like you need to pretend that it's already yours. So if you are 350 pounds and you want to get to 250 pounds, you need to stop thinking of yourself as 350 pounds. You need to think of yourself as 250 pounds. And right now, you are carving yourself out of the marble. You are literally in like this sand pit, busy shifting through sand to find the gold that is you. And I think that's the most beautiful way to think about it. And that's the good side, right? That's the uplifting, happy side about behavior change. But the dark side is that you might just be too comfortable and you might need to turn up the heat. Maybe you're comfortable because you're counting calories during the week, and then on the weekends you're binge eating like I used to. Maybe you're comfortable because you're on 2 different medications and your doctor tells you that your numbers are fine. Maybe you're comfortable because your wife says, you know what, baby, I'm happy with your body, but you aren't. Maybe you're comfortable because you look at old pictures of you in high school and you say, oh, I used to be 200 pounds. I used to be lean. I used to be fit. I used to play basketball or football or soccer or whatever it was. I used to do that. So I've earned the badge. I've done it. I'm fine to be overweight now and tired and fatigued and on medication. So you need to ask yourself, is your current situation painful enough for you to be backed into a corner to the point where your only option is to change and to become who you would like to be? Even the guys that we work with, one of the first things that we do in week 1 is something called the Exodus Identity. It's a worksheet that we go through where we challenge some of their current beliefs and we isolate the story that they are telling themselves. Because the story that you are telling yourself is the reason that you are exactly where you are. So if you are absolutely grateful and thrilled to be where you are, then your story is incredibly aligned. But if you hate where you are, if you feel like you could be further, if you feel behind, if you feel like you're in pain, in confusion, in lack, in lust, in monotony, then it's most likely the story that is clinging onto your spirit. That story is fighting to stay alive, and that story is perpetuating into your surrounding existence. So the first thing that we do with the guys that are dissatisfied, that are disgusted with the story that's happening inside of their lives, is we take a look at the components of that story. We isolate and we think, okay, who is the hero? Is it you or is it someone else? Are you the hero who's going to fight the demons in the battle, or are you waiting for someone else to come and save you? And once you have that story figured out, we set some goals. And most guys stay inconsistent and they never achieve their goals because they do not invite God into their goals. They try to do it alone. And when you're trying to do anything difficult alone, everyone around you is not going to understand. Maybe your wife is like, baby, what on earth are you doing? Fasting is crazy. Training in the morning at 6 a.m. is crazy. Doing all these diets is crazy. Taking all these supplements is crazy. Maybe your friends are like, dude, come out for beer with us. Like, why are you trying to cut out alcohol? So the people around you might not understand. If they do, that is awesome. That is the best thing. Okay. But chances are you have some family members or some friends or some relatives, whatever it is, that aren't going to understand why you want to change so badly. And because of that, it can feel isolating. It can feel defeating. When I started doing keto, when I started fasting, my grandparents, they were on my case. I love my grandparents, but they were on my case because they didn't understand it. And sooner or later, they started listening. They started doing because I stuck with it and I got results. But I only got results because during those moments of doing it alone, I invited God into my health goals. So I never was alone. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to leave it there. And it's been really, really great to have you be a part of my morning, brother. I'm going to get to it. It's an incredible day. So much planned. Going to edit some videos, do a little bit of work, check on my people. My sisters are back at school today, so they're going to be out the house. My brother and I might go down for a coffee or something. And we also might go and hit the gym because I haven't hit the gym. It's Monday today. I haven't hit the gym since Thursday, just with a weekend of travel and landing and everything. So I'm excited to go and hit the weights. I know I'm going to feel strong because I've been eating so much food in this cold. But God bless you. Thank you for making me a part of your day. And bye for now. You take care of yourself, brother.